Well, one of the things you learn when you come to Bangkok, this is going to be a big surprise because this is a 100-year-old company. And in Ban Mo, down every little soy, there's a surprise. And this company is down a soy, and you would never know it. How did I find it? I found it because in 37 years I have a motorcycle, and I explored Ban Mo and Chinatown and all over Bangkok. I've been on that motorcycle. And I found this 100-year-old company that rolls silver and gold for all the jewelers in Bangkok. So this little building is it. They're amazing. This little girl is probably around 23 years old. And I brought with me 13,000 baht worth of silver. Now you don't have to bring a lot of money with you. They'll roll whatever you give them. But they see millions of baht a day, and they roll into metal as thin as paper. They can roll it to round or square or triangular. They've so much experience in this. So when I brought my silver, they took all my scrap and they melted it into an ingot mold, and that's what she's doing. The silver melts at 1650 degrees Fahrenheit, and this young girl is so skilled at it. The crucible that holds the silver is made out of asbestos, just like it would be if it was about 400 years old. Don't forget, this craft is thousands of years old. She put a little bit of borax in it to help clean the metal. It makes the impurities come to the top. And then she's going to take the ingot mold, which is the steel mold on the utmost left of this frame, and she's going to put a little of actually cooking oil. Now I've never done that until I got to Bangkok, and I learned you get a very clean ingot when you use oil. So some of the little girls in our class, this girl's only 23, but all the kids in my class are scared of the torch, and rightly so. It's a lot of responsibility when you're mixing oxygen and LPG together. Now this is mostly LPG coming out of that big head on the torch, and she's got I would say about 700 or 800 grams of silver. This was all the silver scrap that I've gathered over the years. And I need it because all of you students are going to need to make a shank for your ring, for your first assignment, the signet ring. And your shanks will be different. They may be a spiral, or they may be cut away very fancy. You'll plan that. Here is she's putting in the oil inside the ingot mold. So that long thing is the ingot mold. And she has to get the metal up to temperature. Now you can imagine in a job like this, there's a lot of health hazards of breathing in borax and other chemicals used to clean silver. But she does such a great job. It's very important. And everything has to be absolutely ready for this. You can't have one awkward moment when you go to pour that much silver in. If that was gold, it might be close to 1,000,000 baht worth of gold. And this company easily handles millions, because when I walk in there, there's a jeweler waiting, and they are rolling for a jeweler in 18 karat or 24 karat pure gold. So she's just poured the ingot, and she's cleaning it down with a little oil. And then notice how she rolls the ingot mold over. She can tell when the metal has solidified and solid, and she just rolls it over gently, and the ingot comes right out of the mold because there's no undercuts in the mold. Now she's going to take it over to an area and air dry it, but she's very nervous. First of all, no one's ever filmed her, but I've been in this place many times and made movies, so they're very comfortable with me. I'm the only foreigner I've ever seen in this place. Mostly are gold shop owners. They send messengers on motorcycle and with directions on paper and a certain amount of gold. But most people are not working in silver in Bangkok in these shops. So the whole hotel industry and all those fancy jewelry shops, this is where they send their metal to get it into form so that they can solder it together and make something. So it's air cooling now, and now the guy's taking that large ingot and he's going to go through 2 stages of machines to get it to the exact size. And when I told him that I want the metal to be 8 millimeters wide, I think I said 8 millimeters wide, and I want it to be 14 gauge. Now most rings are 15 gauge, but I want to stretch the metal out a little bit so I'll have enough. And believe me, when I saw the size of what they rolled it to, I have enough for next year too. So he's going to another rolling machine, and you're not allowed back here. That's another thing. They have given me the privilege of letting me come back here whenever I want to make movies. And I think they know I'm a teacher, and they've been very nice to me. And I've been coming here for a little over 30 years, and I'm the only foreigner I think they ever see come into this place, because this is what you don't see in the jewelry industry when they're making gold into half round or round. Let's say they're making, the guy's going to make a bunch of rings. He's going to do it all in one piece. He's using a calipers. Notice that measuring device he has in his right hand. So they use the calipers and the veneer, and they roll out the metal. And he's very careful to stay within the standards of what I specify. They are got a huge reputation. Incidentally, when you give them the metal, if you go out of there, they give you a receipt. It's a little piece of paper. It looks like something really unimportant. But if you lose that piece of paper, they will not give you your metal back. You have to go to a police station, which is so amazing, and make a police report, and their police report says that you lost the receipt. And you can only go there to the closest police station and make a police report. I know because I lost that piece of paper one time, and they wouldn't give me my metal back, and they stand on their rules. So I did have to go there with a letter from the police department, and they gave me back my metal after they finished rolling it for me. This guy is the oldest guy in the place. He's been there, I think, about 37 years. He's been 37 years of his life. He is very good and very precise. And that machine, this is really being shot in slow motion, because that machine is moving a lot faster than what appears in the movie. So he's very careful. And you'll notice on the top of the machine, he turns a crank to bring the rollers down just a little bit, as he does this very, very slowly and brings it. Now the metal is very long now, and he usually reaches over the top of the machine to restart it through the rollers after he lowers the rollers down millimeter by millimeter. That's how carefully it's done. And you can see he takes out, he's got a measuring device now for thickness, and he's going to measure the thickness of this. So that's a caliber, and it's graduated in 1/1000th of an inch. So that's how precise this all is. And if you ask me, do the rollers wear out? Yes, they do. And this shop, I've seen them package the rollers up in paper and send it to a machine shop to true the rollers down again. So it goes to a big machine shop, and the rollers are trued down on a lathe. So they do wear out and they do wear down, even though they're made out of machine steel. So you can see how carefully he guides that strip, and that's going to be enormous. I couldn't believe how long the piece of metal was after I rolled it. And I'll have enough for this year, and I'll have enough maybe for 2 years more for kids that want to make rings. I do your rolling for you, and then whatever amount of silver I give you, well, you will weigh it, and then you'll pay me back with the silver you bought. And you bought it in little balls, in little white balls, and you bought 100% pure silver. And this is 100% as well. So here he is miking it up with a micrometer and going down to 1,000th of an inch to make it exactly 14 gauge. So this guy's got a good mind, and you see how carefully he checks the thickness of the metal. So I'm going to show you the metal he rolled today, and I'm very fortunate to know where all these businesses are. I think I know where more things are in Bangkok than most Thais do. You ask me where to buy feathers, or where to buy leather, or where the biggest selection of buttons are, or embroidery needles, whatever you need, I know where to buy it, because that's all I've done is collected business cards. Some of those businesses are probably out of business. For about 20 years, I've been running around Bangkok on a motorcycle, discovering incredible businesses, and this shop is one of those businesses. It's the most amazing place. So I think you're privileged even to see this movie. So there's the work order on a piece of paper. I actually made a drawing, and now he's turning it over to that young lady, and everybody's going home because it's after 5, and they religiously close at 5 o'clock from this 100-year-old factory. It's just one of the most incredible places I found in Bangkok. So I hope you appreciate this, because you actually see how rolling is done in a rolling factory. And how many places are like this in Bangkok? Well, I know of 2, and I think they're the only 2 in Thailand that do this. So they're really expert at what they do, and I'm so appreciative of you being patient and watching this movie. And now you know what it takes to roll metal, especially if you want to roll it in large quantities and you're going to manufacture bands and rings and so forth. This guy is absolutely amazing. I talked to him in Thai a few times, and he's so experienced. So we're going to go back up the alley, and I'm going to take you to other places that you've never visited by video. And believe me, I tell you that no Farangs know these places, and I've spent my whole 37 years in Thailand finding these amazing companies and factories that sell ball bearings and screws and all kinds of mechanical things, and watches and electronic movements. So thank you for coming with me today.